You just went to the oil change place and they're saying you need a brake flush? What even is that? What's it going to cost and why is it necessary? Let's find out. Let's get started. So this is a 2014 Mercedes-Benz E350. We're going to show you guys today why this is a great car, one of the better choices in the Mercedes world. Also, we're going to go over that you're at an oil change spot or quick lube and they're saying you need a brake flush. And the frog is even agreeing with me. You guys are going to hear the frogs. It's that time of year here in Kansas. They're in a little pond outside the shop here. But anyways, what is a brake flush? What are they going to do to your car? And what's it going to cost? We're going to cover those today, but before we dive into that, let's look around this E350. It's very, very nice. I love the front end of this E350, don't you, Mrs. Wizard?
I do like Mercedes. They have such a nice, elegant look to them.
Very, very nice design. You can tell this isn't your average Kia. As we come around to the side, you can see we have the wheels, tires, and everything off the car, servicing the brakes. And as you can see, this looks like your brakes. It doesn't really matter what make or model of car, brakes are brakes from one car to the next. Unless you're driving an over $1 million Bugatti like Tyler Hoover with ceramic brakes, most cars are going to have standard brakes. This procedure we're going to show you today applies to pretty much all cars. As we go down this side, it looks very, very nice. And around the rear, you can see it is the E350. It is not a 4MATIC or Airmatic or anything like that. It's just a base E350. Very, very good condition. Let's go ahead and open up the hood. People have often asked me with European cars, is it worth it? Is it easy to service? Am I going to go bankrupt? And yes, you can get into a lot of debt purchasing an older European car. With some cars, it feels like they are never fixed. They are constantly demanding more and more and more money to get it back on the road, draining your wallet and filling up your credit cards. To make matters worse, that debt is still there when you get your car on the road and still there when it needs another $1,000 in repairs. Trust me, I know. I've been there. You feel like the banks are more in control of your money than you are. And if you're buried in credit card debt, loans, or medical bills, you're not in control anymore. The banks are. But smart people aren't waiting around. They're fighting back with PDS Debt, the sponsor of today's video. They are a trusted solution that helps tens of thousands break free and take back their future. PDS Debt goes beyond the numbers and to understand your situation and make a plan designed specifically for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're there to help you save money and pay off your debt faster, which means there's more money left over at the end of the month. PDS Debt has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and has a 5-star rating on Google and Trustpilot. How? Because PDS Debt has helped tens of thousands of people just like you get out of debt. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Get your free assessment and find the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/carwizard. That's pdsdebt.com/carwizard. Remember, pdsdebt.com/carwizard. Now back to this Mercedes. So can an older Mercedes-Benz or BMW or Jaguar nickel and dime you? Absolutely they can. Especially if services have been neglected, which with this customer here, they are keeping on top of the services. I really commend them for that. But I'm going to recommend today with the Mercedes-Benz not to get the massive, giant, bi-turbo, huge engines. Get the smaller one. Like on this E350, it just has a 3.5 V6. Let me show you why. Look at all the room in the front of this engine, guys. You can get to the serpentine belt, the water pump, the oil filter, radiator fans, everything is very, very easy to work on this car. The frogs are singing for you, Mrs. Wizard.
They are definitely croaking out an interesting song out there.
Strange. But anyways, this one doesn't need a lot of deep work or anything done to the engine. It just needs an oil change and they requested a brake flush today. So luckily we don't have to dive in or tear anything apart on the engine. But again, I've worked on some Mercedes-Benz where you can't put your hand anywhere around the engine and it makes you pull your hair out. If you have some. I don't have any hair to pull. I guess I could pull my beard, Mrs. Wizard.
That'd be painful.
Yeah, that'd be very painful. Let's go ahead and hop into the interior. You guys can take a look at, it's kind of a base model, but I really recommend that on this car. There's less gadgets to fail, a lot of less complications that are going to cost you a lot of money. Take it away, Mrs. Wizard.
There we have it, 78,935 miles, and I love this gauge cluster. It's definitely different than a vintage Mercedes, but it's still very easy to read and very, elegant as well. We have a nice taupe dash, and yes, it is vinyl. It's not leather wrapped or has carbon fiber on it, but everything in here still has a very nice look. Love the wood design. We do have a nice analog clock in our center section, having a little infotainment screen above that. As we move down, we'll have an ivory below, and again, it is a hard plastic, but in many ways that is easier and is more durable through time. Very simple to use radio. It does have quite a few buttons in there and simple controls for that HVAC system below. As you look at our center section here, you'll see that we have a very large section here that opens all the way up, and so we have our cup holders hidden, our cigarette lighter there, and ashtray, which he nicely keeps his coins in. But it slides very nicely, and the wood is looking very good and not cracked. As you move back, you'll see that we have an interesting armrest, and I like how it opens in the center. You just very gently push up, and it pops open, and we can see all of his cables and whatnot and pens and things. But nice thing is you can put one side up and one side down. So if for some reason you needed to have one side open and you still wanted an armrest on one, you have that as an option. So we look at our seats, they have classic perforated leather in the center and a little bit of bolster on the sides. And a very high adjustable headrest. Whoa, looks like it's on stilts. Door cutter's looking very nice, has the controls for that seat up there by the door release, but much of it is ivory with that little bit of wood trim. So look at our back seat. Yes, it is ivory and it looks leather, but it isn't. It's MB Text. Looking good though, no rips, no tears, and this stuff is almost indestructible. But I've never seen MB Text looking bad, getting holes in it. It's kind of like industrial strength leather looking stuff. So look at our headliner, everything is looking fabulous. The owner of this car does a very good job of maintaining his car. Here we are back at our steering wheel, and while the rest of the car does not have leather, the steering wheel does. Looking really nice, got some nice stitching on that inside part right here. The center section's looking great with our Mercedes emblem in the center, and of course our nicely varnished wood sections on the top and on the bottom. So this car is looking in really good shape. Even though the Wizard said it doesn't have lots of bells and whistles, at least under the hood, the interior looks really nice and is well taken care of. So I'm curious, how do you know when you need to have that brake fluid flush, and why do we need it done?
So how do you know when it's time for a brake fluid flush? They sell a tester just like this. It's one that Daniel used to test this fluid. You put it actually in the fluid and it measures water content. And that's the thing about brake fluid. It's what's called hygroscopic. If you set a cup of it on a table, just leave it there, it will sit there and absorb the moisture out of the air. It's almost like a sponge. It just inhales water out of the air. And over time, it can make the fluid bad. It can make it not do its job as well as it used to. So you put the tester in the fluid. If it tests bad, it's definitely time, but really, about every 100,000 miles, you really should have it flushed. And we're going to show you today how that's done. Where is it done at? It's under the hood. Let me show you. So under the hood, there's two things involved with brakes. You have your ABS unit here, this hydraulic unit, control unit, everything is right there. We're not going to be messing with that. What we're going to be messing with is the reservoir itself that goes to the master cylinder where the fluid resides. We're going to be connecting to that, pushing this old fluid out with new fluid. So most people think when you do a brake job, you use something like this. This is to spread the pads apart and compress the pistons in the caliper. And that's specifically for brake pad service. We're not doing that today. We're doing a fluid service. Not the pads, not the rotors, not anything else, just the brake fluid. And we have a really cool tool. How many of you guys remember back in the day, you helped a friend bleed brakes, and you have somebody sitting in the driver's seat and another person at the caliper, and they have the up, down, or open, close, the brake bleeder game. You guys know how that goes. Have you played it, Mrs. Wizard?
Oh yeah, for sure. I played that game a lot with my dad growing up.
We have a tool that cancels that out. One person can do it very easily. Let's show you how it looks. So Daniel's hooking up the pressurized reservoir to the top of the brake fluid reservoir on the master cylinder. It's got special adapters that connect to it, and then once it's all connected, he's going to pressure it up to a specified pressure, and then the system is ready to bleed. So this is the pressure reservoir. You fill it up with the specific brake fluid. It needs to be specific to your car. Some take .3, some take .4. You need to make sure you look that up for your vehicle. But you fill it up with the fluid about halfway, and then once everything's connected to the master cylinder, the reservoir there, everything's sealed up, You'll pressurize this system up to about 10 or 15 psi, which it has a gauge. You want to keep it in the green area. So right now what we've done is put a pressurized reservoir onto the master cylinder, and it's as if somebody's in the car with their foot on the brake, keeping constant pressure. And they never have to do the up-down thing to refill the brake master cylinder because this provides pressurized fluid all the time. So let's get this thing lifted up and show you what it does. So there's a second part to this. Right now the system's under pressure. If you just open the bleeder screw, it's going to spray brake fluid all inside the wheel well. It could get in your face. You don't want that. You don't want the customer's car sprayed with fluid. The second part of this is to collect the fluid that comes out of the caliper. You can use a hose into a 5-gallon bucket from the bleeder screw. We have actually, it's a snap-on vacuum operated reservoir, kind of a little canister. And as he opens that up, he can pull the fluid into the jar there and collect it instead of spraying everywhere. So I'll let him demonstrate that for you guys. So we're not sponsored by Mighty Vac or anything like that. I'm just showing you the company that we use. We have good luck with it. It's very reliable. It's the Mighty Vac MVA 6850. This is the kit that has all the adapters for the master cylinder. And they sell entire kits that come with the pressure reservoir and everything. We'll have that listed in our Amazon affiliate link in the description below. Very good quality kit. Next thing he's going to do is do the cleanup. He's going to use the vacuum portion of that tool to clean out the hose so it's not dripping everywhere. So the old way can work as well, where you have a friend in the driver's seat doing the up, down, open, close, whole rigmarole. But you can get out of sequence and you can get air into the system. It can actually make it a little bit more difficult, and it can take longer, especially if your friend's not cooperating or not paying attention. It could take 30 to 40% longer.
Or when you're asked to do this by your dad and you're 10 years old or younger.
Yeah, you can barely reach the pedals and you're a little kid. So with this tool I just showed you, it speeds up the process. It makes it cleaner. There's no fluid all over the place. And it's very, very sure. It doesn't put air into the system. It doesn't make it where you have to do it all over again. Unless you use a reservoir that's empty with air, that would be a bad idea. But basically what you just saw will be done at all 4 wheels until we flushed all the old fluid out. And nothing is left but brand new, fresh fluid without water contamination in the fluid. Now what is this going to cost? How long does it take? Depending on what kind of car you have, it can be done in an hour and a half. And then you got the cost of the fluid and whatnot. They typically range depending on the size of your car. If it's really long, it's going to take more fluid, obviously. But how long it takes, it could be anywhere from $150 to $250 for a brake flush. It should not be $500 and $600 and $800 unless it's an exotic car or something with special race fluid. That's what you can expect for that price. That's what they're going to do to your car. They're going to go through each wheel, push out the old fluid, put fresh fluid in. And what's going on there is old fluid can have water contamination in it, and that water can corrode seals, O-rings, steel lines inside the caliper, gasket seals inside of there. It can cause trouble if it goes unserviced. So we just showed you today what it is, what it costs, and why it's necessary.
Okay, Wizard, does the price change if there's a difference between shoes or pads on the car?
No, if it's 4-wheel disc or if it has disc up front, drums in the back, it doesn't matter. The price is going to be the same. It's the same procedure, same setup. It really shouldn't reflect any difference in price at all. So there you have it. Now we've answered that question. When you're at your favorite oil change spot or quick lube and they suggest a brake flush, now you know what they're going to do to your car, what it probably should cost, and why it needs to be done. So now that we've gone over the brake system and a fluid flush and all that business, what's involved with that, let's talk about the Mercedes itself, the car itself. Whether it be an ML350 or an E350, any of the 350 designations, except for the early 2008, they had some timing chain issues, but all of the newer ones are dead reliable. If you get into an S-Class or a higher end one, you're going to get more complex engines, complex interiors, lots of things that can go wrong. If you want the Mercedes image, you want a Mercedes, enjoy the ride, the Mercedes quality and everything, an E350, you can't beat it. They're really good cars. This exact model, this exact setup, with being a base model, I would highly recommend looking for one of these. They're very, very good. These are not complicated to work on, like I mentioned. They don't require engine outs or crazy things. However, it is a European model. It's going to cost more than your Kia or your Chevy or your Dodge. There are maintenance and things that has to be done. Any European car, when it exceeds about 100 to 150,000 miles, they're going to nickel and dime you, and they never stop. They don't stop. It's just the name of the game with a European car. If you want this in your driveway and you want people to see you driving this, it's going to cost a little bit more money. It will. But if you do like this customer is doing and keep up on the maintenance, this can go for 250, 300,000 miles. They really can. They're very reliable cars. I love the E350s. Again, those tools we use today, there's the disc brake pad spreader. There is the pressurized chamber and also the adapter kit to do the brake flush. You could do it yourself if you're mechanically inclined. A lot of the tools we have in the shop that we use is listed for sale on our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. If you purchase anything there, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. Oh, and don't forget the brake fluid tester to test the water contamination of the fluid. And make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's many more cool videos to come. Thanks for watching.